You're listening to The Jacob Valk Show. He's breaking down the latest and greatest in sports as only he can. Follow him on Twitter @RealJacobValk. Here he is, Jacob Valk.
Hello, Yankees fans! Welcome to another New York Yankees episode here on the Jacob Valk Show. I am Jacob Valk, and the sky is no longer falling. The last Yankee show you got from me was on April 19th. The Yankees were in the midst of a 5-game losing streak. They had gotten swept by the Tampa Bay Rays. They were 5-10. It was not looking good. But they've righted the ship. Since then, they've gone 13-6. That's the best record in the American League over that time span. Their pitching has improved. Corey Kluber has had some good starts. Domingo Germán has rebounded. Jameson Taillon and Jordan Montgomery have had some really good outings recently. Garrett Cole is pitching like he's the best pitcher in baseball, which you can make a very strong argument that he is. The bullpen has been fantastic. If this team isn't going to hit, it better pitch. And it's pitching well, and that's how they're winning games. You know what? I don't care. It doesn't matter how you win. It just matters if you win. We can all get off the ledge. People who are calling for Aaron Boone's head, not going to happen anytime soon. People calling for Brian Cashman's head, that's not going to happen anytime soon. I know it's May. Alright? I get that. But the Yankees, at this moment, are in the playoffs. They're a wild card team. They're only 3.5 games behind the Red Sox. They're in a great spot right now. Although the one thing I'll say is, they start a 3-game series at Tropicana Field against the Rays. If that series goes sideways, you're going to get a lot of people saying the same things that they said about a month ago. And look, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news or anything, but do you really see the Yankees out-pitching the Rays? I have no idea who's going to start for them. I know Luis Patino is going to start tomorrow. After that, I have no clue. I know who the Yankees are going to have. Montgomery, Cole, and Taillon. Obviously, every time you have Cole on the mound, you feel like you're going to win that game. But tomorrow and Thursday? That's going to be tough. Look, the Yankees still have issues. The reality is this team right now just isn't hitting. I don't give a damn about home runs. Okay, great, fantastic. They're second in the American League in home runs. Whoop-de-doo. You know they're 10th in the American League in batting average? You know they're 12th in the American League in hits? 11th in the American League in runs. We've seen this movie before. We know what happens when the Yankees get so home run reliant. It plays well in the regular season. Then in the playoffs, they crash and burn. Oh, Jacob, what are you worrying about the playoffs for? It's May 10th. Never too early to start worrying about the playoffs if you're a Yankees fan. Let me ask you this. You think Boone and Cashman are concerned about the playoffs? I got news for you. They are. If the Yankees don't make the playoffs, they're both gone. I promise you. In fact, I can make the argument that if they don't go on a deep playoff run where they win the World Series or at least win the pennant, they should be gone anyway. Is this team gonna rake in the regular season? Yes. But it's not gonna play well in the playoffs. That's the thing. I mean, let's go through the lineup positionally. Catcher, it seems like it's Kyle Higashioka right now. Obviously, you're still going to see Sanchez, but in a perfect world, Boone would probably start Higgy over Sanchez. I'm okay with Higashioka. 5 homers, 8 RBIs. He has a .622 slugging percentage. I'll take that from my catcher. The infield is fine. I have no complaints about the infield. From first to third, you're going to have Voit, LeMahieu, Torres, and Urshela. That's really, really good to me, and Torres seems to be heating up. I know you're not going to believe me when I say this, but as God is my witness, I truly thought that Gleyber Torres was going to hit a home run yesterday. Like if betting was legal in New York, I promise you, I would have put money down on Gleyber Torres hitting a home run. Needless to say, he did hit a home run yesterday. His first of the year. You gotta start somewhere. He seems to be heating up. I like Torres a lot. Someone came over to me and said that the Yankees are gonna trade Gleyber Torres and get Trevor Story. Look, I like Trevor Story. I'm not going to say a bad word about him, but Torres is a lot cheaper. I'm fine with Torres, let me tell you. The big issue is the outfield. It's something that's just not getting talked about enough. Aaron Judge is in a little bit of a funk right now. Will he get out of it? Yes. But right now he's just not getting the job done. And left and center, forget about it. Frazier's completely useless. I hope you feel stupid about supporting him last year and this offseason, because I promise you, Brian Cashman is going to regret every day that he didn't sell high on Clint Frazier. Just for whatever it's worth, Mike Tauchman with the Giants, he's hitting .256 with a homer and 5 RBIs. I'm just saying, he'd be nice to have right now. Aaron Hicks is Cashman's favorite player. I don't get it. You like him because he's a switch hitter. In this righty-heavy lineup, you want a guy like that, I guess, but look, all that means is he can hit 3 ways. Left, right, and seldom. That's it. You want to tell me that Hicks gets on base a lot? He has a .301 on base percentage. That's not going to work for me. I mean, you're making $10 million a year. Getting walks isn't enough. You've got to get hits. Move runners over. God, do I hate Aaron Hicks. Aaron Hicks is without question my least favorite Yankee. Joining such immortals as Tanyan Sturtz, Sergio Mitre, and Stephen Drew. Not to get too far off track, but Tanyan Sturtz was at an old-timers day a few years ago. I was booing him like crazy. Everyone else was applauding him. I was going nuts booing him. People were looking at me like I was nuts. It's like, this is Tanyan Sturtz we're talking about. Not Jeter, not Bernie, not Georgie, not Pettit, not Rivera. Tanyan freaking Sturtz. Don't applaud him just because he's an ex-Yankee. Jay Bruce is an ex-Yankee. You gonna applaud him? The Yankees need to get left and center field situated. I don't know how they're gonna do it. The obvious answer is a trade. That's great. But who? Give me a name. You want to tell me, Jacob, there are 9 guys in the lineup and you're focusing on 2? Yeah! That's exactly what I'm doing. You don't want any dead spots in the lineup? I don't care if you put him 8th and 9th. It doesn't matter. If you want to have one, a guy who's a defensive specialist, I can live with that. But your other 8 guys better be producing. Once you get past that, it's tough. I'm not asking for 9 great players in the lineup. Just give me good. Get on base, move runners over, and have some pop. Frazier and Hicks don't do that. The reality is, they are terrible baseball players. There's no role for either one of them in the league. And there's another thing that the Yankees have an issue at. And it's not an issue until it's an issue, but you know it's going to be an issue at some point. And that's depth. The Yankees do not have good depth. They do not have a good bench. Their pitching depth is fine. I have no issues with that. I'm talking about hitters. It's getting really tough to defend Sanchez. I'll tell you that. And at the end of the day, Higashioka has earned the starting job. Can Sanchez be the backup catcher? Okay, but that is disappointing. If Higashioka gets hurt, do you want Sanchez catching every day? Probably not. Brett Gardner's lost a step. Is he better than Frazier? The answer is yes. But that's not saying much. He's hitting .200 this year. He has a .286 on base percentage. Mike Ford is absolutely useless. You could add 100 points to his batting average and he wouldn't be hitting his weight. He's hitting 103. He's listed at 225. Alright, he's got a good glove. He's better than Jay Bruce at first base. Still, though, you've got to produce. And realize, with Odor on the IL, who I like, he's a clutch player, you're seeing more of Ford. LeMahieu's been at second and Ford has been at first. With Odor in the lineup, Odor plays second, LeMahieu plays first. I mean, I'm done with Ford. You know who I really want to see at first base? And I know he's not on the 40-man roster. I don't care. DFA forward and bring this guy up. Chris Gittens. He raked in spring training, hit .316 with 3 homers and 7 RBIs, had a .458 on base percentage. He was an all-star in 2019 in Double-A, and he's gotten off to a great start in Scranton. Wouldn't you rather see him than Ford? Just give Gittens a shot. That's all I want. It's not going to mean much, because Voigt's going to be back soon, but if you need a backup first baseman at some point, give Gittens a shot. Tyler Wade's bat just hasn't come along like anyone wanted. If he could hit, he'd be a really good utility infielder. But he's just dreadful with the bat. Miguel Andujar went 0 for 9 against the Nationals. The Yankees' depth is a huge issue. Brian Cashman's got some heavy lifting to do between now and July 30th. Brooklyn Nets show comes your way next week. I'm going to put a bow on their season. After that, for the foreseeable future, you're going to get a New York Yankees show every Monday evening. Regular episodes of the Jacob Valk Show come your way every weekday afternoon. Until next time, I am Jacob Valk signing off with a fun fact. Willie Mays started his major league career by going 0 for 21. On his 22nd at-bat, he hit a home run off Warren Spahn.